Okay, today is September 28th, 2018, and there's a news story here. And it says F-35 fighter jet crashes in South Carolina. Pilot ejects. Okay, the F-35 is a very carefully built military aircraft. I don't think it just crashed. Okay, there's deep state going on here, or Chinese lasers, something. Okay, just like a few months ago when there was a Hercules C-130, we had two F-18 fighters crash over like Florida. We had a C-130 Hercules crash like somewhere in that same area of South Carolina. We had Super Stallion helicopter crash right by the border of Mexico. All these military aircraft were crashing. And then months later, you look for the news story and you can't find it. You're like, what? I'm wondering if this F-35 news story is going to disappear in 2 days, and it probably will. The next news is going to be so unbelievable that we're not even going to even think about this stuff. Anything that happened yesterday, that's gone. You know, we forget that Kim Jong-un was launching a ton of test rockets. We forget that Russia has come out with all their crazy videos about nuking Florida and, you know, all these new nuclear weapons everybody's developing with super hypersonic and all this. And we walk around talking about how World War III is never going to happen. Well, here's the thing. God gave me another date. And it's a date in the future. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But before I tell you the date that he gave me, I want to remind you, 2 weeks before Antifa declared war, remember that? I can't remember the date. I think it was November 4th, 2017, something like that. 2 weeks before that, the Lord gave me a date and said in 2 weeks. And on that date was the day that Antifa declared war. Then God gave me a date, and I made a video about this. And the other date that God gave me was the day that China declared an economic war. And then there's been another time I set a date, is I said at the end of this week, the Lord had told me at the end of this week it's going to start up again. And sure enough, at the end of the week, that was like on a Monday or Tuesday when I said that, and by, I think, Thursday, Kim Jong-un launched another rocket after 4 months of no rocket launches. Then I set the date of April 29th, and I remember it specifically, and that was the day that the United States, for the first time in history, used the mother of all bombs, a Moab bomb, to drop on Iranian troops in a bunker in Syria. So I've been predicting a bunch of dates, and God gives it to me. God gives it to me. Like I'll see a vision of it, or I'll hear, like when the Lord said 2 weeks, it was on a Saturday, and I was watching a movie. I wasn't thinking, oh, give me a prophetic word, God. I was just watching a movie. And then I calculated the days, and I Googled the date, and that was the day that Antifa declared war. So here's the vision I saw. I saw, you know, one of those clocks that's like at a basketball game, and it counts the minutes and the seconds, and it had just hit 90 minutes, and the 1/10 of a second, you know how the tenths of a second go by really fast, you know, and basically I was seeing this clock as it hit 90 and was counting down. Now there were 90 minutes left. Now I presume to believe that means 90 days. Okay, now I could be wrong, but that was on. Now if I tell you the day that I had that revelation, you could calculate the exact day that 90 would be 90 days from that exact day. Oh, I had another time where I like predicted the future just a few days ago, and I didn't post videos on it. The Lord spoke to me, and I just didn't post a video. So I did send a message to a friend saying, here's the next date that the Lord gave me. And then something significant happened on that date. So, so the 90 days ends up, it was on September 21st. And 90 days ends up being December 20th or 21st. So like literally like 5 days before Christmas. 5 to 6 days before Christmas. Now, I don't know what's going to happen on that date. But I assure you something's going to happen. And I've been right so many consistent times. And I can tell you honestly, I remember seeing the vision. It just came to me all of a sudden. It's not like I was trying to conjure up a vision. It's not like I was even praying or asking for it. Okay, but it's enough time, far enough ahead in the future that you're all going to forget I said this. You're going to forget that you even watched this video. You're going to heckle me and say, oh, that guy's a real joker. And whatever you guys say. But come that day, I'm just saying, we're going to see another escalation. Okay? Now, I can tell you that I have been like 100% right on when God just gave me a vision or a date. Something has always happened, and not just your usual news stories. I'm talking about China declares a trade war. I'm talking about Antifa declares war. I'm talking about, Kim Jong-un launches another rocket after months of inactivity. I'm talking about mother of all bombs being dropped on Iranian troops. The first time we've ever dropped such a large ordinance in Syria on Iranians. I mean, that was significant. That could have sparked full-scale nuclear war. I'm just saying. So, yeah, World War III is still going to happen. Like I said, I think that we're lucky to have made it this far. And I count every day a blessing, so I'm not worried about anything. Guess what? Booyah! I got my zombie apocalypse. This is like the biggest freaking... It's a machete, dude. I don't know. I started buying gear again. Started gearing up. Like I don't have enough gear. I got a storage unit full of like food, no ammo, a little bit of ammo, but I only have a 22 now, so I'm down to like a little plinkster that I don't even shoot. I'm not even into shooting. I don't know why, but yeah, World War III is gonna happen, and when it does, it's gonna be like no more nothing really. Especially here in the United States, if you read what the Bible says that happens in the end of the age, it's full-scale worldwide thermonuclear war. America is destroyed, and America is actually the last refuge of freedom and prosperity. And once America goes down, it's like the whole world just falls. And the government of the Antichrist, which is China and Russia allied together with Islam, and guess what? They take over the world. Imagine a world that's ruled by Islamic forces and the Chinese and the Russians. It's like, I'd rather die. Which, that's going to be the end result. And so, yeah, heads up. Heads up. Get ready. And who can explain this F-35 fighter jet crashing in South Carolina? What, did somebody forget to bolt the, the fuel receptacle on or something? Did somebody forget to replace the manifold on the scaffolding? I mean, come on. Seriously, little mistakes like that don't happen, especially with an almost brand new aircraft. Now, if that plane was being still in a testing phase, but they've been flying the F-35 for quite some time. So I'm going to say it was shot down, or it was some sort of deep state sabotage in the machine room, in the maintenance room, whatever. And I'm going to put this together with I'm going to pile this event, this F-35 that just crashed in South Carolina, along with the 2 F-18s that crashed outside of Florida, and the Super Stallion that crashed in Southern California, and the C-130. Multiple Hercules C-130s have been crashing I'm going to also put that all together with Kim Jong-un launching his rockets. And, you know, how come we haven't heard anything about Space Wars anymore, or Space Force? You know why? Because the Chinese and the deep state shot it down. Because remember, Trump, he announced the Space Force, and then there was this hoopla about it, and then like 3 or 4, like maybe a couple of weeks later, all of a sudden, I can't remember his name, the top guy, Secretary of Defense, was talking about how China has shot down some of our satellites, and we don't hear anything about Space Force anymore. I think that thing has been, I don't know how to say it, like, well, neutralized or shot down. So, yeah, it's not good. I think that if anybody out there literally, like if you were a high level in the government, like had a super high level security clearance, and you could find out the truth about what's really going on, I think a lot of Americans would be shocked about the actual hot war that we've been engaging with China and Russia over Syria, and China over the South China Sea. Notice we don't see any of these big videos anymore of a bunch of battleships out to sea with the with a carrier in the middle, and they're all formation, big armada. How come we don't see that anymore? How come we don't see any videos like that anymore? I'm just telling you guys, there's stuff going on that the government's not telling us, that they're keeping hidden, and I'm just telling you, we're in a war. And I remember in 2017, Russia shot down the Global Hawk. That was like the first, it was actually recorded in history as the first time that Russia actually shot down an American aircraft since, in a direct way, in a direct conflict. We've had that happen where maybe the Vietnamese Russian pilots flying under the Vietnamese name maybe have shot down an American aircraft, but never a direct Russia-USA conflict encounter. So anyway, it all goes back to Edward Snowden. When he defected and left, he didn't just leak NSA information. He had a briefcase full of hard drives with all of that DARPA and some NASA information, some NORAD information. I'm just telling you, that was a bad day for America when he went straight to China and then to Russia. I'm just saying, and he had a briefcase full of hard drives. Then, within a few weeks, Russia starts getting all belligerent all over the globe, and all of a sudden China starts building their, the J-20, which looks just like the F-35, which is basically designed, stolen from, obtained by way of Edward Snowden. And they also started building a bunch of DARPA projects. I don't know. I mean, you got to do your research, but there's this robot that DARPA had been developing. It was like an MIT project, also working along with some of these top robotics companies, and they built this. It looks like a mule or something. It can run. And after Edward Snowden defected, within a few months, China was building one very similar that operated and moved and looked just like it. Well, it was Edward Snowden leaked the plans and the technology to build that robot. The same thing with, I think it's called the J-20, the Chinese J-20 fighter. It's basically China has been stealing our technology, and one major way it was done, and there's no telling how many little secret hidden loopholes that Edward Snowden set up, little back doors into the whole Aegis missile defense system. I mean, what if Snowden just put a couple of lines of code in there and he can access that anytime he wants from any cell phone? I'm just saying, you don't know. But when we look at what's going on with the deep state and how the United States is getting beat down, and you guys don't realize it. A lot of people are like, we have this American pride, this patriotic pride, and I'm with you, dude. I want America to be the best and the greatest and the strongest, but when you got like a guy like Obama who opened the door to Islam to just come right into every level of government, and then went and gave Iran $1.7 billion, and we're going to sit here and stand here and say that he's not part of the conspiracy of the deep state? Come on. Look at how many riots were going on every week for the last 2 years of the Obama administration. If it wasn't Black Lives Matter, it was Antifa. I'm just saying. And I'm just saying, you guys got to get ready. World War III is really going to happen. It's going to happen exactly as is written in God's word. And it's going to be not a good time, you know. And yeah, God bless you. God bless you. And for those of you who like think you're going to destroy my life, you can't destroy me. You can't destroy me. I'm telling you, I am completely... I got God on my side so big time, dude. I'm not worried about anything. Even on the job, it's like these government agencies are trying to like make it so I'm not making any money and trying to make it so that they're trying to get me fired from every job. I'm like, don't worry about me, dude. Next time you see me after your death, I'll be standing right beside Jesus. And hopefully your heart's right with God. Because I know mine is. And all these people want to accuse me of like being a murderer and a freaking rapist and a stalker. It's ridiculous, man. I'm just watching these people going, dude, I can't wait till God reveals everything about your life. Every last detail. And even the things you did that you thought nobody knew about. Yeah. And when God reveals everything about me, I'll stand there with my chest all out like a superhero. Because I know I've always done the right thing. And so I'm not worried about a thing. Even if I lose this current job, Lord already told me what to do when this job ends. The job I have right now. He already told me that when they finally destroy you from this place, he already told me exactly where I'm going and what I'm going to do. And you guys get on your internet and try to figure out what I'm going to do so you can follow me to my next location right there in Tampa, Florida, where I'm going. Or maybe it's going to be New York City. San Diego. No, it's going to be Colorado. That's where I'm going next, guys. Anyway, no, I'm going to a state where I got to get to a state where marijuana is not legal. Let's just say it that way. So, but when this job ends, and actually, I think I'm actually going to be here in Reading when World War III happens. And I also saw a vision of a nuclear strike right over, not a big nuke. It was a small nuke, but it was placed there. And it was carefully placed right over Shasta Dam. I'm not joking. I saw that in a vision. And I thought, why would they do that? Because they're going to invade. They're going to want that water when they invade. So I've been praying against that. But at the same time, maybe they're going to do that. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I know I saw another vision right over SeaTac Airport. And that was very clear. That I saw a nuke going off. It was actually southeast of... It was like right over I-5 in the area of SeaTac Airport. And it made it so that nobody could... All the highway in that area, there's like two small highways that go north-south. And they were both completely, just literally for like miles, like gone, just completely gone. Like nobody could get out. You could not go south from Seattle. You just couldn't. And if you found a route that went way, way around, it was so congested and just, it was like... And then by the time everybody lined up, piled up, trying to get out of town. And before you could get a few miles, you'd run out of fuel. It was just like, that was it. You were all done. Anyway, I should go over all the visions I've had about World War III. And how I did mention this, but I should mention it again, how I think it was in 2015, I clearly saw the Falcon Heavy launch that was broadcast live. And when I saw the vision, I thought it was a Titan IV missile. But I knew it was different because the top cone shape was different in the vision, and it was exactly what I saw when I watched the live launch of the Falcon 9. It was exactly, except for in the vision, the nose cone area had a yellow and black stripes, which I think meant that they were, loaded with weaponized. Anyway, so praise God, get your heart right with God. Jesus is Lord. Time is running out, and I'm excited. And yeah, I just had a really tough day at work where it's like everybody I'm supposed to be working with is like working against me, and it's like, okay, I get it. And people acting like I'm a murderer. It's like, are you kidding me? I just spent 5 minutes getting a spider into a cup so I could put it out. No, really, a little female spider had come into the room and it had a bunch of little babies on it. And when I first saw it, I thought, dang, that's a big spider, right? Because and it was one of those wolf spiders, and what they do is they carry their babies on their back for a little while. And one of the babies jumped off, and there was a little, tiniest little spider running around. But I got the mom to run inside of a cup with all her babies on her, and I took her outside and threw her out there. But there's the tiniest little guy. He was running around, and those little wolf spiders are really fast. So this little thing was so tiny, but it was running along on my tile floor. Anyway, that was my good deed for the day. I could have just killed it.